today we're looking at Autobot Blades. Of course, part of the Protectobot line as part of Combiner Wars month. First thing up, I don't have a G1 version of him, so I can't be all like, oh, look at the cute version. But anyway, he is part of the helicopter mold that's also shared with... Oh man, I can't remember his name. Future me, look up the name for the one part of Bruticus and put it up. Thank you. And part of Alpha Bravo, which I don't mind Alpha Bravo as part of the Superion team. It helps break up the team other than just being Juts. Because I like the more utilitarian Combiner Wars teams where they're when they are a mix of things. Like the Protectobot line is a fire truck, a police car, a Coast Guard helicopter, an ambulance, and a SWAT vehicle, and a police motorcycle. But it just appeals to me more when there's an actual variety other than just airplane, 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 and airplane. Oh, and an airplane makes the gun. I can understand it to the people who want it to be uniformed and be the same, but it just shows to me that there's more diversity, and then yes, these people of different backgrounds or different specialities can come together to form a giant thing. And looking at the actual stats and what Defensor can actually do, at least in the Combiner Wars mythos, it makes sense on why all these people can combine to form this giant robot. Basically, it's trying to put all their powers together to try to stop whatever's going on. And of course, punch something if it's big enough. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at blades here. Now, of course, that nice silver that's been popping up throughout them is coming out. And of course, he looks like he's lying down and taking a nap. And of course, you see the silver back here as the rotor blade. You do have some detailing back here as part of the tail blade as well, but it's not made out. The rotor does spin, kinda. It does wobble a lot, but it's good. I just wish there was some way to actually like push it down when you transform it to actually have like fitting grooves. That way it can actually stop being just sticking out there like like someone's tail. But anyway, of course he does come with weapons, and those weapons are a chain gun, foot gun, and a belt-fed gun as well. Man, for a Coast Guard rescue helicopter, he can get seriously armed to the teeth. Like, is somebody from the cartel just gonna try to hose him down, and he's just gonna rip the boat to shreds? I'm not sure. Anyway, you can store the weapons on him like anything else, but they store it in kind of a unique way where his belt-fed gun can fit in one of three places: down here, or my preferred method, up here. Stick it right there, because you can take the hand-foot gun, leave it flat like that, and stick it there, and give him a nice little stand. Ain't that nice? That's nice. That's very nice. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the main event. His actual limb modes. Now, outside of the bodies, his one's probably like some of the most involved. Some of it. So all you really do is just pull this up. You'll see it come out of the tab right there. Lift it up. You'll see the same tabs there. So you just basically just make it go down one. Boop. Move that to either left or right. Doesn't really matter. I guess it really depends on what side it is. Fold up the blade. That's, again, this would be perfect to have some kind of way to really just lock in instead of just, oh, well, let's just hope they're going to do like this. Turn his head around. Bring up the combiner port like so. The nail destroyers will be popped up because no matter what, these always hurt my nails, and I'm probably not the only one who says that. And of course, you just flip these around and tab them into the sides, like so. Boop. Then of course you bring the hand-foot gun in. Now I do like the helicopter, how this actually kind of goes flush with the hand-foot gun. It makes it look as a natural part of it. And then of course you just put. Oh, this didn't tab in well, so let's. Boop. And then we put this back in. Boop. And he makes a nifty little leg. It's nice. It looks solid. Can't really complain about it. Nice little limber leg. Anyway, let's get back onto the arm. So we have to take everything off because the way the legs move is that you can't really have anything in there. But so what you do is that you're gonna have to basically get him in a robot mode. I mean, there's no other way to do it. Open that, lift this, because the legs are interconnected right here. So you gotta pull them up, like so. Bring them down, flatten those. And of course, you gotta make sure that these are fitting in just like everything else. Now, usually on mine, this does lock kind of tightly, but of course, since I'm trying to demonstrate on camera, it doesn't want to. So now we just put everything back the way it was. Boop, boop. Bring that down. And bring the hand foot gun in. We'll make the left arm. Actually, you know what? Because he is the actual right arm on. Oh no! Okay, yeah, that's one thing. Every time I try to swivel it via holding the legs, it's always one of the hips will always pop out of their sockets. It's not loose, but they're made to come out very easily. So almost all the time I have to hold it like that. Boop, boop. Put the arms back in. And do that. And there you go. And of course the gun can fit back in there. And you have a nice, decent looking arm. His proportions make him a decent sized arm and leg. It's just the downside with Defense Sword is that thanks to the different kind of robots that make him up, he either has two bulky legs and kind of slim arms, or he has two slim legs and very bulky arms. That is one of the downsides of having a mismatched team. But at the same time, some of the other combiners suffer with the same fate. Bruticus suffers the same fate as well, because thanks to being two aircraft and two tank-like things, he suffers from the same exact method. Shoot, he's the actual repaint version of this line. He uses pretty much three of the five molds that's already being used. But anyway, let's go back to this and go ahead back to robot mode. So we can just basically take this off, tab that, push that up, revealing the head, take that off, and split the legs. And of course do this. And there we have Autobot blades. And what I usually do is I usually lean this up just a little bit to make sure his actual helicopter rotor blades stay there. That's another reason why I keep on saying this. I wish this would like lock in somehow instead of just being just loose and hanging there. But anyway, let's look at blades here, and we'll tilt this up a little bit so we can actually look at that face. Look at that nice light metallic blue face with those deep blue eyes. And of course he keeps the same thing as his whole line does, where they all have that same boxy head that's supposed to be reminiscent of the original G1 versions. Then of course he does have the same articulation as any of the other Combiner War bots. Yeah. Ball joint at the shoulder, bicep swivel, basically 180 degree at the elbow, ball joint at the hip, thigh swivel, and a 90 degree bend at the knee. Now, and he does have some toe swivel thanks to the transformation, so decent posability. Go ahead and arm him up a little bit. Boop. And there we go. Bam! Now we have another Protector Bot down and shown off for you guys. And like I've been saying about these guys is that they're pretty good. Their articulation is really nice on them. It's just that the actual helicopter mold of this line really does suffer from basically being bare bones minimum. He's basically lying down and curling up his legs. So looks wise, they're fine in robot mode, but the minute you put them in any kind of other mode, you see all the parts hanging off. You see his arms, you see his head, and then you don't tell where his legs are until you put him in arm mode, which basically just has him tucking his head away and just holding him for dear life that his arms don't flail around. He is the most bare bones, basic minimum mold that the Combiner Wars really has to offer. I know some of the other robot modes can look really nice and can hide their kibble away really good, but the downside is that thanks to his kibble being his robot mode, he has little to no alt mode as there is. You basically just fold his legs up and turn him around. That's it. Transformation-wise, it's alright, but overall, he is not bad. He just isn't the first one I pick up when I think of the. He just isn't the first one I would pick up out of the whole team to mess with. Well, that being said, guys, I'm gone. I'm Ghost. I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with Streets.